let's look at an example of drawing the customer journey map in a B2B billing situation. At a very high level, what would you assume? You send somebody an email or an update that they have the next bill available for them. They open the email and they review the bill or invoice. They decide to pay it, which may be in your website or through the bank website. If it's through your website, you have more visibility. They decide to pay it, and that's it, they're done. Or at some point, they get the invoice and they still come to your website to review their usage, after which they pay in your turn. Or they review your usage and then they have some issues, so they contact support, or they look through internally with their colleagues on trying to question their usage. Why did we get charged for this amount becomes why did we use this kind of service without authorization. If they contact support, they may get redirected to documentations because documentation will solve their problems, or they may or support may need to escalate to research and development of the product team because they have questions that they cannot answer. And so this is a high level. At each step now, how do we clarify a lot more stuff here? Let's draw some more. So we email, but before emails, we can look at our database to know how many number of customers do we have. Out of them, how many do we create an invoice for, and how many of them want that invoice in an email. Then we send the email, and how many of them open it versus do not open it, and how many of them keep opening it repeatedly later on. So we can split this in different layers of transparency, where the leftmost is the least and the up is the most amount of tracking transparency. So instead of positive and negative, let me say plus plus and 0, and write tracking here to the left. So what else can happen? They may not open the emails at all. They may directly be coming from somewhere else. So this horizontal layer, let's say, is our website. So they may directly be coming from somewhere onto our web portal and reviewing the usage or paying or contacting support. Let's assume they don't contact support before they review the usage. So we will cancel that out. So they from the web portal they review their usage and so on. What else could be a case? When they get the invoice or when they get the email, they open it and they read through the body of the email and they realize I shouldn't have been the recipient. Now I'm in a different function. There's a different finance or accounts payable team. So let me go to the portal to edit my settings so that I am not the recipient. Or they directly email support that blue isn't visible. They directly email support that I shouldn't have been the one. So can you update the information here and resend the invoice and so on. Similarly, once they get the invoice, they can pay, they can review usage. Let's think through what else. Support, documentation. They can also, when they read the email, they may have some questions and they may directly go to the documentation to review their questions. Similarly, when they review the usage, they may have questions and they may directly go to the docs to review, to find answers to their questions. And after they look at the docs, they may contact support. So some of this would be tracking using Zendesk. Some of it would be tracking using Salesforce or Jira to see what kind of questions land to our door or to the product team's door. Payments can be tracked in things like Sage or payroll systems like Coupa or Net. I forget the name of another system, but like Oracle kind of systems, NetSuite. So those kind of systems. What else can we use to track or understand information? In terms of emails, we can use SendGrid or Mautic or Marketo or other such Mailchimp, other kind of mailing automation software to see how many people received our emails versus got blocked, how many opened on the same day versus many weeks later, and so on. We already talked about product analytics on the left bottom side. The other thing that we can understand from is reviewing support tickets. Support tickets would tell us what kind of questions are people coming up with, because of which they reach to support. And Salesforce or Jira can tell us which of those questions couldn't be answered by support and need escalation. What kind of questions are making customers scratch their head and go and talk to their internal teams to figure out the usage? This is something we may not have as much review as much visibility into, so we'll need to interview our customers to know this better. That covers a few of the different nodes. Now let's look at the drawing here. So there are a few ingestion points or entry points. One is the top left, which is users navigate into the web portal. The other is bottom left, which is through our documents, we create a monthly report. Creation of monthly report doesn't have a lot of visibility apart from our system logs. Users navigate into web portal. We have good visibility using systems like heap tracking, heap analytics. If users go and update some information, that will be available. We can track that through Google Analytics. We can also track that through Google Data Studio, Google BigQuery, which will give us better insights into how the data was being changed through a web UI or through our product analytics database. If emails are sent to the customers, then we use email tracking software for this entire horizontal layer. If we get auto reply, then that auto reply, maybe that's or sorry, if maybe we get an auto reply for customers, or maybe they get an auto reply when they reply to our emails with questions. So we can use Zendesk, Salesforce, or Gmail, or any other kind of email receiving system to know what kind of questions the customers have. They may reach out to support may escalate to R&D. So Jira, Zendesk, Salesforce, Intercom, redirect to articles. Again, depends where the articles are stored, whether it's WordPress, some of this. And if users are navigating to our web portal or they're reaching out to articles on their own, we could also use tools like Ahrefs or Google Analytics to know about that. Now, seems like a major part of this is the PDFs or the invoices that our users read, which means we have very little visibility. One way to add visibility here is add click tracking or UTM tags to the links in the PDF. For example, if there is a section where you are detailing the usage of a customer, you can also have a link to say, if you have questions on the usage here, click here and we'll show you more, which can take them to our how-to articles. If they open web portal or they download stuff through the web portal, then we have better tracking through the web portal layer. This covers the different layers of tracking and also different kinds of nodes and how customers go from one node to the other. As you can see, there are also ways that some of the nodes could be bypassed. Customers could reply to an email or they could directly click on links in the email and so on. And you can see that arrows are going in a lot of different directions here. Thank you.